Hey guys, I'm Courtney,
And I'm Spencer.
and we are Axonal Leatherworks.
We would like to formally welcome you to our Leathercraft workshop. Axonal Leatherworks was formed in 2015 by myself, Spencer. At the time I was a professional firefighter, and my wife, Courtney, who is a full-time paramedic. We specialize in premium handmade leather goods with an emphasis on the fire service and emergency services alike, crafting fully custom pieces ranging from suspenders, radio straps, glove straps, and we have many more offerings.
We hope you enjoyed the shop tour. Today, we're going to be doing an awesome project together, one that can be utilized for multiple things.
Yeah, so this is going to be our first DIY build-along. Weaver reached out to us and wanted us to show a different facet of leathercraft. All of our designs and items that we craft are very utilitarian. So with that, the application of the glove strap that we're going to be doing in the build-along today is generally applied in the fire service setting. With that, it could be used in a various amount of applications.
For any farmers, gardeners, electricians, anybody who needs those gloves handy, this is an awesome project for you.
Yeah, it's a great gift for family members as well. It's easy to craft on a scale of easy to difficult. I'd say it's on the easier end. There are some parts to it that some of you have may never done. It involves setting a copper rivet, but in place of that copper rivet, if you have a double cap rivet or even a Chicago screw, you can use those in place. Outside of that, there'll be a bunch of information in the description below as far as materials, tools used. There'll be a link to our site that will give you a downloadable template if you would like to do this project yourself. And also on that same topic, the glove strap is sized currently for firefighting related gloves. So they're very bulky, very big. It's a simple adjustment for smaller gloves, and you would easily be able to do that on the fly to meet your needs. So we hope you enjoy the build along. If you have any questions,
Comment below.
yeah, put them down below and we'll do our best to get back with you on them. We're generally very attentive to that, as getting questions answered is very helpful to all of us getting better at the craft. So with that, we hope you enjoy, and we'll catch you on the other side.
Have fun.
All right, so here we are. Leather selection for this project was a 9 to 10 ounce natural veg tan. We cut it in-house with a strap cutter. You can have Weaver cut straps for you. You can purchase them direct from their site at whatever width, length, thickness that you prefer. We went with just a 9 to 10 ounce veg tan, and the template on top there is a 9 to 10 ounce black Latigo. So you can choose which leather you use. I recommend staying under 10 ounces. 5 to 10 ounce range is good, so you don't have to worry about skiving the ends for the buckles to pass through. That is where, if that's a skill you possess or the tools that you have for it, if you do, by all means, make it happen. If not, just stay under that 10 ounce mark and you won't have to visit that skill just yet. So I'm sure by now most of you have learned that the beauty in leathercraft is there's so many ways to do these different skills. And essentially it comes down to what the crafter or what the maker chooses for their processes, or how they wish for their finished product to look. So here we're going to take the edges down from a square edge to a rounded edge with an edge beveling tool. And this just rounds off the edge of the strap. So the majority of the projects that we work on are strap related projects. So we like to round the straps and burnish all the straps in a multi-part process that just ensures a nice finished look, as well as a nice finished feel, as well as a more comfortable product for the user. At times, if you don't round edges and you've got really stiff, rigid leather, that squared edge, which is essentially 90 degrees, can be sharp. It can feel sharp. So that's one of the biggest reasons why we take these edges down. So the burnishing process is multi-part for us. There's, I'm sure, thousands of ways to do this. Everyone's got their own techniques and own practices. So if you already have something established for this, by all means, stick with what you do. If this is a step you would usually skip, by all means, skip it. If you choose to skip this step in your process or your workflow, you have many options. You can edge paint, you can leave it unpainted and unbeveled, you can bevel it and leave it unpainted and unburnished. Again, that's the beauty in leathercraft. It's whatever method you choose. So here we're just using a wooden hand slicker. We didn't want to use any sort of machinery or equipment in this video, just for simplicity's sake, so that you can see that these items can be crafted 100% by hand with minimal use of tools. So a little bit of edge compound or just water. Slick it with the wood until you meet your desired burnish. Add a little bit of beeswax or saddle soap, and then we finish it off with some wax canvas or some canvas of some sort, which helps create friction and seal up those last little bit of fibers and add a nice polish to that edge. You can see there the difference. So for time's sake, we're going to fast forward this step of the process. This will be the longest step if you choose to burnish, as it's a very time-consuming step. For us, it yields a really great product, a really great finished look, so we don't mind doing that step of the process. So next step for us is to condition for this chosen leather using that natural veg tan. It's inherently a dry leather, so we want to condition it with some sort of oil. We chose neat's foot oil. Obviously the options are endless for this step, and it's something you also could skip if you chose to. And also, depending on the leather you choose, it might not be a step that's necessary. So whenever we oil any sort of natural strapping, we always make sure we do a thorough massage to work the leather in, or work the oil into the leather, as well as make sure it's staying pliable and flexible. It just makes that break-in process even quicker for the user. So here's the first buckle going on, and remember when we said if you chose too thick of a leather you'd have a hard time passing it through the buckle. This is where you might notice it, but the other end is really where it's going to be obvious. So the buckle goes on, the female end of the buckle goes on to the end with the two holes, and we opted for copper rivets here. This is what we make these offerings with. You can choose anything here, a double cap rivet, a Chicago screw, whatever type of securement hardware that you choose, you can make happen here. If you've never set copper rivets, the tool that you saw there is a rivet setter, and at the end of it, there's two parts to it. There's a hollow end and then a rounded end. So now you see I'm pointing to the rounded end. After you set it with the hollow end, cut it, you will come back and dome the rivet. So the end of the rivet, at the end you'll see that we also will peen it over, and that's securing it in its final place. So here's the end that might be a little tricky. It's all about just setup and placement as well, and you can see here that little bit of a struggle to get that leather through there. The male end of this buckle is a little smaller. The inside diameter's not as thick. The width is still going to accommodate that 3/4 inch strap, but the thickness or the weight of the leather is where making sure you're under that 10-ounce mark here, if you don't have the ability to skive, is going to save you a lot of frustration. So you see the fold there, and getting that male buckle end centered up to allow it to be in the fold of the fold, if that makes sense. If the buckle was too high to the rivet, it wouldn't sit flat, and that would create an issue when you go to buckle the female to the male end. So here, back through that rivet setting process, there's the burr, there's the setter, a couple whacks with a mallet or maul. You want to cut this down to about 1/8 of an inch with whatever type of end cutters or nippers or whatever tool you have to cut those. I will say, if this is your first time ever using rivets, I would recommend choosing copper rivets, as the brass rivets are a little more challenging to work with, solely because they're harder to cut, they're a little harder to peen, and the copper rivet's going to build up your confidence as well with this skill. The last step in the process here is peening down the rivets. So after you dome them, there might be some sort of sharp edge there, and that's what we're doing here. We're flattening it and getting rid of any potential sharp edges. You see me check it there. We obviously don't want anyone to get cut with a rough rivet. So you see there, and I'm sure you can try and imagine the concept to make this smaller. So the end with the female buckle, you would just shorten. You would just say, all right, I'm going to move my holes up 1 inch to accommodate smaller gloves. And it's a really simple way to check. You can use a tape measure to do it, whichever you choose. And here you see an awesome glove strap. Sorry, I'm working on this point of view camera angle, so I was a little high on that, but no big deal. So there it is.
We hope everyone enjoyed that build along. And if you like what you saw, head on over to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we plan to add future DIY and build-alongs to the channel. This is our first one, so it's really exciting for us. But we also do other tips and tricks videos on our channel, so you might find something else that you like there. Outside of that, we hope you enjoyed yourself with this project, and we will catch you next time. See you.
Bye.